there's this trend going around. There's this book where the Bible has been translated so many times, right?
Yeah.
So now, and we even in a pato, someone translate the Bible in a pato.
Yeah.
Now someone translate the Bible in the Gen Z language. I think someone did it so the younger generation can
understand. You know what exactly happened.
When the angel Gabriel appeared to her and said, "Ayo, you're a real one, and the top G is feeling you." But she thought his compliment was sus and gave him the side eye. So he said, "Baby girl, chill. God sent me to tell you you've passed the vibe check. He will take the W from all his ups, and his kingdom will go hard forever." She said, "How can this be? Since I promised him my body count will always be 0. So Mary said, "Bet." And Gabriel left her on red. And she let the Holy Spirit cook.
Jesus. Yardman Podcast, I do one. 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 The Yardman Podcast. Tell about the Yardman Podcast. Yardman Podcast. Tell about the Yardman Podcast.
Yes.
Yardman Podcast. The Yardman Podcast. Yardman Podcast. Tell about the Yardman Podcast. Tune in.
We're back again, Davin and Tonnie. Back again with another fast class. Now my race.
Yes.
Usain Bolt. The Olympics coming up. And we're back another Saturday.
Yeah,
St. Paddy's Day.
St. Paddy's Day.
St. Paddy's. Mr. Green. That's why we're wearing the green.
Military green.
And we're healing up all the Irish supporters, all the Irish fans on a big day. This episode won't come out on St. Paddy's Day, but tune in and have a beer with us.
True.
Have a nice little drink.
Yeah, go outside, build your spliff, walk with your beer, get something in your hand. Something green. Yeah.
That brings me to before I have a question for you this week. Like you mentioned something green. You ever wonder, like, say most farms of, how would I say it? Most farm of medicinal things comes from herbs that make people high. Any kind of I don't want to say use that certain word. Any kind of paraphernalia or something like that.
Yes.
Normally, they're in a plant farm. Imagine if like the herb was in a fruit, like you can pick it from a tree and you don't have to smoke it. Instead, like an apple, you bite it like an apple, or you eat it like an orange. Can you imagine that?
Well, I can't imagine it. I really can't imagine it because with this thing, you also can make your tea.
Yeah,
which is a form of it, but a fruit. Yeah, picking a fruit from the tree. And
yes,
people would abuse it.
Like you can sell it because I think
people would abuse it.
They have one in Africa. I don't know what the name of the fruit is. If anyone knows it, where people just buy it on the sidewalk and they eat it and it give them the kind of eye that it's not THC eye, but a different kind.
I understand. Is the same with there's a lot of herbs in Asia and also in Africa where you chew them.
Yeah,
and it gives you. They say it's kind of like caffeine. It gives you the same effect as caffeine.
A little kick.
Like a kick.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, think about it. If it was a fruit.
Rasta.
Let's say it was what your favorite food? An apple.
No.
A mango.
Soursop.
But soursop big. So okay.
All right. You want a small fruit?
Yeah.
You could say a grape.
Yeah, say it was the size of it. Like how you get wine from a grape. Yeah. Imagine it was the same size, but you just once it's like you eat a gummy, you just pick it off the tree and you eat it like that. You don't have to smoke it. Do you think the stigma would be the same if you don't have to smoke it?
No, the stigma would not be the same. Or it would be the same because it gives the same effects that they don't want us to have.
Yeah.
When we smoke this, steam this, or drink this tea. They just wouldn't let it exist. They would fight it down.
They would fight the fruit.
But
like, think about that. Like a grape is a nice fruit, but imagine like the grape.
The herb is a beautiful herb.
The grape make you high, but
yeah,
in order to consume the herb, it has to be processed to a certain level. Like you need to be cured, you need to dry it, all that process. But with the grape, you can just wait till it's ripe, pick it off the tree, eat it, and that's it.
True. Yeah. Well, all I know, if this thing was a fruit, it would get a fight. I think people would abuse it, and other people would want to cut down other people's trees.
To limit the stock.
Exactly.
Fair point. But
And I think it would be easier commercialized. You pick this from a tree, you send it overseas. But another thing is, will it be classified as a drug?
that's the thing, because now it's a fruit, and I don't know if any fruits are considered as a drug. Can you think of
That
any
I know
fruit
of.
that like there's no like most of the illegal drugs are the drugs that appear. They're from a plant. They're from a plant, not from, and they're from the leaves as well. Except for the poppy, it's from the flower.
It's from the flower, yeah.
So it's not necessarily like a physical thing. But let me know your comments if you feel like, what if marijuana was a fruit? What if weed was a fruit? How would people
What if
react?
the beautiful herb was a fruit, man?
Yeah, would you eat that fruit?
Yeah. But Davian, this herb, I want to spend 1 minute talking about this herb. This herb is so beautiful, Davian.
Okay.
This herb make your clothes.
Hemp, yeah.
It make your paper.
Yeah.
It make your oil you put in your hair.
Yeah.
On your skin.
Nowadays people just realizing the medicinal benefits of it.
Yeah.
And
even
that has
shampoo, yeah.
Oh, speaking of that shampoo, dog, like this week I had the worst discovery. I downloaded this app on my phone. App is named Yuka for anyone that uses it.
Yuka. Spell, how's it spelled?
I think it's Yuka or Yuca. I think Yuka, Yuka. Right? Someone put me onto this app. So this app is used to like you scan like any sanitary products you use, like your lotion, your shampoo, your body wash, your perfume and stuff like that. So you scan it, and then Yuka gives you a rating to see if it's good, bad, or great out of 100 in terms of the chemical properties.
Yeah.
So this week I run out of lotion, and I needed a new body wash, right? Because I use body wash not anymore after this Yuka thing.
Hey.
And I went to Druni,
the Rooney, yeah.
Druni
That's where I buy my shampoo.
To pick up a shampoo. And I went in there, and I don't know what got into me, bro. Like, I'm like, you know what? This person always say, use the Yuka before you buy it. Because I'm like, I want to try a different brand, something healthier. I'm getting older, something to protect my skin, all that stuff, you know, getting into that little era where, you need to do more skincare, all of that stuff. And I say, flip out the Yuka. And I go to my brand first, the first brand I normally use. I scan it. Bad. 7 out of 100.
Out of 100?
Out of 100, so it rank it. So the higher it is, the better it is.
Okay.
First one, I remember I scanned the one I've been using for years. 7 out of 100.
You make a mistake.
Toxic.
Whoa.
Toxic, man, I tell you. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to scan the next one. This one looks nice. Start scan. I scan like 90% of the store before I find one.
Yeah.
Before I find, and I realize I go to a bar of soap, like with like some rosemary and stuff, so natural soap. Yeah. Less chemicals, and finally it's a good 67. Not even 100, 67. That is good, or 70 or something good. Yeah. And then I'm walking around the store, and the girls in the store one day, I take it up every day.
Yeah, what this man do? What this man is scared?
Scared.
Yeah.
The entire store, brother. But that just goes to show, like, half of the things that, not even half, like I said, 3/4 of the things in these stores, they have chemicals in them that should not be in them.
Yeah. I believe you. I believe you because, for example, I'm a man with my shampoo. I try to buy shampoos that have like the least amount of chemicals. The more basic, the better.
True.
Because at the end of the day, you're just washing your hair, and for example, I used to put like things like oils in my shampoos, honey, for example, aloe vera. For example, I can't do this anymore. I could do this when my locks were shorter. I used to put pear, avocado in like a mix.
So you make like a ear mask?
Basically, yeah. But the more basic your shampoo is, the better. And you try to buy shampoos without hydrosulfate in it.
Brother, I don't have. I bought
it dries your hair out.
I bought a new shampoo. The only one over 70, and the shampoo cost me a lot of money compared to the other ones. It's almost 3 times the price just to be healthy.
Don't worry.
And it has less ingredients, less chemicals.
Don't worry. Yeah, look at that. Shouldn't it be the other way around?
No, you have to pay a premium for health. Pay a premium for health. You know,
But guess what?
that.
It costs you your pocket, but your hair and your body, it costs you less. Think about it that way.
No, I'm paying for the future.
Definitely.
Paying for the future, not for the no. The only thing that I refuse to give in to is the deodorants. I need as much chemicals in those as possible. That going on natural.
Oh, your nature strong.
No, I don't say that, dog. It's just like sometimes you you smell good, and you know the chemical ones have been proven. Like to switch to a new deodorant, you know.
It's a tricky. It's a tricky bumbuckler thing, you know that?
That's more difficult than a new lotion, than a new shampoo, new soap.
Brother, let me tell you this. Me learn this the hard way. Let me tell you this, brother. I have a story to tell you, brother. When I just come Spain, I never know that this country never have my brand of deodorant.
Degree?
They don't have Degree. Them don't have Arm and Hammer.
Them have it.
Oh, where? Them never have. Most of the supermarkets, they never really have Old Spice. You have to go to some place, Picky P, Pakapa. In some stores or some pharmacies to find Old Spice. I use Old Spice now. With the ones without aluminum, but that's what they say. I don't know.
Old Spice get a good scan. I scan the Old Spice and them get a good. Them like 55 out of 100. So not 3 bad. And them they have Degree here, you know, but it's not called Degree. It's called Rexona. So it's the same brand as Degree, but they're mostly in the spray format or the liquid.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have the Degree thing.
No, yeah, the degree effect is just a degree effect.
I don't know. Like, I swear, if I die, if I get cancer, God forbid, it's Degree. It's Degree. Degree take me out, dog. I'll never give it up. I'll never give it up.
Understand.
Whenever somebody come from America, they have to bring me a 6-pack of Degree.
Trust me. All right, and some Old
Spice.
No, Old Spice. The soap, man.
Irish Spring,
man.
Irish Spring the year, but I scanned it. Irish Spring.
Where you find Irish Spring at?
You know, the CM Junior, I think I find it.
Irish Spring?
Something similar name. It's like they're here, but because the laws with the chemicals in Europe are different, so they have to rebrand it and repackage it and sell it different.
Yeah, that's another thing with Europe. They have a lot of checks, like certain things that would fly in our side of the world, they would not fly here. For example, drinks having more than 30 grams of sugar. Yeah. You don't see that here. In Jamaica, oh God, man.
Don't give a
if you don't have 52 grams of sugar, they
don't give a
Yeah, man. But yeah, back to the deodorant story. So when I just came here, I couldn't find any of my brands, right? I was green as a lemon, green as grass for the first month. I tried this brand named Johnson. I had to try to go back to the roll-on with the one with the ball and the liquid. I hate those. Jesus Christ.
That's a liquor thing,
Jesus Christ. 1 month of them. Until one day I went into Alcampo and I found out that they had Old Spice. And since then, Old Spice has basically became my brand to use here in Spain since then. I haven't found any other brands that suits my,
suits your odor. Your body disposition.
Brother, I don't know.
I can't do it. And I never will switch from Degree. Like, I will switch everything else, but until someone have a natural one that has the same effect. Right now, I don't even think I can ever smell because it's so much Degree in my blood.
I thought so too. Till one day during that first month, I was supposed to. It was like my first week of school.
And you didn't bring deodorant?
Well, I know. Remember, I thought that this country had everything, so I didn't bring my deodorant. So the first week of school, you go in, you introduce yourself to the teachers. The teachers would carry you from class to class to do like a small presentation of yourself, where you're from. What's your name? What's your culture like? What do you eat in your country? All of these things. I have a presentation I usually show to the kids. But bumbleclad, brother, for meet the new teacher them and shake them hand, and after that, 10 meters of space.
And you know in Spain
Because
they love the
Oh,
proximity.
my
They
brother.
love the proximity.
That's another culture shock that still gets to me this
Love
day.
the
As you see, like how me and you talk with like a distance between us.
reasonable arms length.
Them,
Kiss.
yeah, them almost kiss you when them talk to you. Oh,
I
God.
don't need to see you. I don't need to be able to see up in your nostrils when you're speaking to me. That's something I can
Oh,
live
God,
without.
man.
That's
Yeah,
something
man.
we don't need. So nobody ever tell us, yo, Tonnie, you know.
You're green?
You're
No. Thank God. In life, I think somebody only ever tell me like 2 times in my life.
How you feel? Shame?
No, the way how they came to me. The thing is, with telling somebody that, you have to be careful how you go to them. You can't just go to a person and say, you know, my friend, you're not smelling so well. No, you go to
Oh, here so you can't do that. Because I know my virgin them, you know, if I smell, say, yo, dog, you think, go on, go beard. Go beard. Beard.
And the day you're bridging them that, brother. And the good thing, I feel it's better for my friends to tell me than a stranger to tell me. If a stranger tells me and my friends didn't tell me, I would look at my friends bad.
Yeah, man, for real, like, that's not a true friend, because, right,
No, you're supposed to tell me, man.
right now, if I smell you, I'll be like, dog, show what they say, no. I'm gonna use it. You're not go on the road, so you're not embarrass me. You're not gonna embarrass me. You're not gonna embarrass me. Hey, this is my friend Tonnie. Like, when you lean in, I see them lean back. You're not embarrassing me.
Smell, yeah.
You're not embarrassing me like that. You're mad.
Jano.
All right, I'm have a next question, like the moral dilemma, though.
Yeah.
You ready for that? I wanna kind of. That's for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is something where you probably can relate. I'm not gonna say you can relate to it because you're not at that stage in life, but based on your current situation, no, I'm not want to phrase it so because people are thinking certain things. You know what? I'm gonna put it out there.
Tell it as it is.
Story mode. All right,
Yeah.
say like say 10 years from now, right? Yeah, what 28 now? No?
Yeah.
So you're 38 and you've been with this woman for like 15 years.
Yeah.
You and her are together for 15 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing you guys always wanted was to have kids. Like you need a kid, right?
Yeah.
And you realize you try everything. You both try the IVF and you realize that based on your situation, like it's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
And based on her situation, it's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
So
and both of you want kids.
Both of you want kids. You're happy in love. You're together, and you want to have a kid. Like both of you is like, this is the only thing that would make our life perfect. We just want a little one. We don't want two. We'd satisfy for one. We just need one.
Yeah.
One kid, and you're living together. So eventually, you realize that biologically, it's not possible.
Jano.
It's not possible.
Rough.
So you and your wife have the conversation, and you're like, all right, maybe we should adapt because even if we're not able to have a kid ourselves, we'll be able to help a kid that's out there. And I think you'd both be great parents, you know, like you're good people. She's a good woman, been together for 15 years. And the only thing missing from your life is just a kid.
Yeah.
So you decide to adapt, right? Upon deciding to adopt this kid, it was a hard, rigorous process. Because you two you're in 30s, late 30s, it's harder to adapt. You're struggling until eventually one day, the agency called you two and said, we have a little girl for you to adopt. But it's not a baby, it's not a newborn. Her parents were just orphaned in an accident, and she's an orphan.
Yeah.
She's 12 years old, but she's very smart, speaks 2 languages, and I think you two are a good fit for her. And you speak to your wife and you had a great conversation. And you're like, well, we wanted a baby to grow up, but sometimes this is what you're blessed with. You're blessed with a little girl and she's been through a lot. She's lost both parents.
Yeah.
So you two decide that let's take this kid in. All right? And at first it was tough, it was challenging. Like you're with this kid. Obviously she has lost her parents, so it took time for her to adjust and open up to you too. It was a struggle, lots of therapy sessions, bringing her around the family, making her feel like she's one with you guys.
Yeah.
Like she's now a part of the family, even though she lost her mom and dad. She has found you and your wife. She's found new parents, and after months and months, going up to like 1 year, her struggling in school, struggling in things start to turn around towards the end of the 1 year anniversary, coming up to 1 year. And she turns to you and your wife and says, "Thank you so much for taking me in. You're the second parents that anyone could ever wish for. You two have changed my life, and I feel like I can deal with, moving on from my parents and, having a life." 12-year-old, she's telling you this, very intelligent, because, she's been through a lot of therapy sessions and she's worked through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So on the 1 year anniversary of you adopting her, you and your wife, you go out, great dinner. You, her, and your wife, great dinner, had a great time. She even said, she stopped calling you Tonnie. She said she didn't call you daddy, but she said, "I can call you Pop."
Popper. Wow.
Yeah, Popper. Like she says,
Hey.
in Popper, because I don't feel comfortable calling you daddy because, I already lost my dad. So this is your name, and she'll call your wife Ma. Dinner. And, your wife heard this, and when she heard this, you could see a tear in her eye. Like, this is the daughter she has always wanted, emotionally intelligent, even though she has been through so much. Mm-hmm. And you two look at each other and you felt fulfilled in that moment. Like, this is all you could ever want. And driving home, you're playing music and everyone's having a great time. And then you look at your wife and all of a sudden there's headlights. When you see the headlights flashing in your eyes, someone hits you from the side. And the car spins and flips until it rolls and lands in the middle of a lake. All right? You with me?
Yes.
It lands in the middle of the lake. When it lands in the lake, for a second, all you could hear is just ringing. When you hear the ringing, you open your eyes. You could feel a little bit of blood running down. You wipe it off. And then you look across, and you see your wife there passed out. Not a scratch on her. She seems fine. But she's passed out, probably from the shock. You look around, your daughter, because not your adopted daughter, she's in the back seat, also passed out. But you could see that she's alive. They're both breathing. And you could feel the car sinking, and you can see the water around you and the darkness enveloping you. Mm-hmm. And you realize that based on how things are, you can only save one of them. You can only save one of them. You can only save one. So you have to make a split-second decision. They're both pretty much the same weight and stuff.
Shit.
And
what is man?
You need to decide, who are you saving? Who are you pulling out of that car? Are you pulling out your wife that you've been together for over 15 years? Or this daughter that you've adopted and she's now yours?
Me can save myself?
You're saving yourself, but you're saving one other person with you. Shit. Who are you saving? Are you saving the daughter?
Yeah.
Or are you saving your wife?
But let's go down with the two of them.
So you just
suicide. Well, we did as a happy family.
So you just gonna let everyone die?
No, just die while we're on top.
That's not
while we're on top of our happiness. Just go.
No, you have to pick one.
Just leave.
You have to choose one: your wife or the daughter.
All right. So being 38 years old, 10 years from now, it would mean that I am at the height of my life. Because believe it or not, your best years of your life are your 30s and your 40s, and then you start to decline. So I'd be at the height of my life, height of my career, height of everything, right? My wife also. And there's a young girl here who is coming up. She has a bright future. I can't see myself as stop her future, dog.
So you would say...
But another thing is I can't see myself I leave my wife either.
Yeah, but you have to choose one.
That's why I say, man, the whole we go down, man. Who we are Joe, David.
So that means you're stopping 3 futures then. That's not a logical answer. You have to pick one. Who are you saving?
Me I choose the girl.
You're saving the girl.
Yes.
Alright, fair. Why?
She have a future, Davian. She has a bright future. I don't want to stop. You know? I love my wife, Davian.
Yeah. You love
But I can't see myself. I stop somebody's future like this.
Fair answer.
It's a very hard decision, this, Davian. Like, really and truly, you know.
That's why it's a moral
Very, very,
dilemma,
very
brother.
hard decision, this.
So you're
And
saving...
my wife, I go watch me from heaven.
Wife watch
Growing our daughter, yes.
You know, I feel that's a respectable decision. There's no good or bad answer in this scenario.
No.
Put in the comments who you choose.
Yeah, who would you save?
We'll save, and we'll share the Instagram.
Wow,
reacts
David.
to it to see it.
Wow.
Oh, you like that delivery for the moral dilemma, like more of a story or something.
Yo, I'm not lie. When you were explaining it, I was there. I was there the moment looking across with the headlights coming in, and then us rolling down to the lake and whatever. I was like, emotionally, I was there, and I could just picture everything.
Yeah.
Go feel that one day.
Let's this is all I want to
it.
start doing the moral dilemmas. This was a test.
Go feel
To
that
see
one
if a story, instead of just reading it off a piece of paper, just adding a story to it, is better.
You should think about doing audiobooks. No, for real, David, for real. You should think about doing audiobooks.
Let's see how this one plays out on the mic and see the reaction that we get for it.
Yes.
Then we can move.
You need to do audiobooks, David, please.
Tell that story. Because I like writing, because I watch so many movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can picture the plot. Like, that just sounded like I was repeating a movie, not me telling a story.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it's like a movie. Because that's exactly when it happens. When everyone's happy, that's when you get hit by the car and everything flips.
Yeah, when you're on top, that's when, like, everything bad can happen.
Yeah, or when you feel like you're on top. Like, you just feel like you get hit down from the top of your perch.
In Jamaica, we say, when you think of peace and safety, then comes a sudden destruction.
Lightning.
Yeah.
Just drop everything, dog.
And being on this emotional role.
You still feeling emotional?
No, dog. Something happened to me this week, man.
Oh, what happened to you this week?
From week, I want to tell you this, dog. Something happened to me from week.
This is why we have the podcast, so we actually have a day for talk, because we don't really talk.
Like, I get over it already, you know what I say?
Yeah.
But like, in at the moment, it just feel so... I feel crushed. Crushed for like a good hour, dog.
What?
I gotta tell you.
You're listening.
So, because I don't own a van, I don't own a car.
Yeah.
Sometimes I take the public transport. But if not, I have my scooter. Right? So one evening I was going to work on my scooter. I do my usual, put my music on and I'm there, heading to work, getting myself charged and ready. Music helps with that, And yeah, I was going there on the way to work and I was like 5 minutes out and there's this road where there's a school, there's some bars, there's like residential homes for older people. Yeah. And it's like a big, long, straight road. It's not that big either. It's a 2-lane road, And while I was there, I was going along, and I was going at 25 kilometers per hour, this scooter.
25 on a scooter?
Yeah, man. Nice speed, man.
Good speed, that one.
And music I play, boom, boom, I go down the road, I saw this pigeon. And the pigeon was like hobbling. It was like hobbling. I'm going to say, why this pigeon don't fly? And I had to go around the pigeon. I said, wow, him look sick, man. And I thought that and I said, wow, he must be sick. And I said, wow, I'm going to help this bird. I'm going to turn around, right? And I was looking at the bird. He was still hobbling, walking, trying to cross the road. And I was going towards him. And then he kind of stopped a little bit. And then I saw this car coming. And I was trying to tell the car, stop, please, please. I was like this.
Yeah.
They didn't see the pigeon.
Yeah. I run it over.
And just run over him.
Oh, God, man.
Brother, I'm not going to lie. It's a pigeon, but I feel it. You know why I feel it?
Why?
You see somebody that need help, you go out of your way to help them,
Yeah.
to try to help them, and then there's just nothing you can do
With a pigeon.
with a pigeon.
You
You just get crushed.
You're going to make my ball, dog. You know how long I'm going to ball?
Yo, brother,
brother,
but they feel some emotion. Man, I got to lie. A long time that not happened to me, dog. I don't know why, but that day them they feel it, man.
Maybe
they really feel it.
Maybe the pigeon signifies something else as well.
Maybe and it not done this so. Wait no, and then so the car run over him, and I was looking at the car passing. I stopped in the middle of the road, and I was like, wow. And then me f***ed up and everything, I just turned around. And the same car that hit the pigeon, they were going on the road and then they stopped at a pedestrian cross for somebody to cross. And I pulled up and beside them and I knocked her window. I see that it was a girl. It was a young girl. She wore glasses. She was a ginger. Redhead, they call it. And
no, ginger and redhead, two different things.
Well, she was ginger. She was more ginger. Yeah, she was more ginger. And I knocked on her window and she rolled on her window. And I said to her, oh yeah, me rompiste el corazón. Has pisado el pájaro que yo estaba intentando salvar. And she said, oh, sorry, I didn't see him. And then she just walked along.
She just drove off.
Yeah, I told her that you really broke my heart when you run over that pigeon. I was trying to save him, and she just, it was like nothing. She crossed the road and went into the pharmacy. I was just there for like a minute. I was like, wow. It really did touch me, David. I don't know why. I don't know why that, but it really touched me. Man.
I don't know why either, brother.
I feel it for Mother Nature, I really feel for Mother Nature.
You feel like you would have the same feeling if this was in Jamaica, though?
Yeah. You know why? As I say, like based on the situation, I turn around for try to help the bird. I see him in a danger. I'm actually turn around for try to help him. And in the end, I couldn't help him. If it was a rat, I'm not going to tell you I would have feel the same.
Them say pigeon are the rats of the sky.
Yeah, but a bird, you see a bird flying, so when you see one in trouble, I mean a trouble. You know what I say?
I understand what you say, man. I understand the feeling. Like,
yeah, man. You feel it, man.
You remember when I used to live in Rwanda Norte?
Yeah.
That apartment there? Like, so one of my flatmates at the time, like, similar pigeon story. She had a pigeon outside her window nest. The pigeon lay an egg, and the egg to the point where she every day she didn't even open her window again because she don't want to disturb the pigeon for the pigeon fly.
Yeah.
Weeks and weeks and weeks the pigeon did it with the egg, and she kind of we kind of just start. I don't even remember. I think she named the pigeon.
Yeah.
And it's a fear. It's her pet because she was away from home, and the pigeon was there. Like the pigeon was watching over her on the window. Yeah. And then one day she came home. And I was in the living room, and I just see her coming into the living room, just tears.
Jesus Christ.
Tears. And I'm like, what happened? What happened?
What happened?
Yeah, what happened? And she looked at me and said, the pigeon, it's dead.
Jesus God.
It's dead. I'm like, no way, it's dead.
Yo.
And when you go out there, all I saw was pigeon without a head.
Jesus Christ. I hold him. I can't hold him.
We lived on the 8th floor. So we don't know what it was.
Papa, one cat string him up, man.
From the 8th floor, brother, outside up on the balcony window, on the windowsill.
And put some food, Then look food,
To this day, we don't know what happened to the pigeon.
Jeez, sad. Rough, dog. You're rough. Yeah. The thing is, you invest yourself emotionally. You see the pigeon grow, you have him egg first, and then you see when him start to make the nest.
Yeah.
And then you see him make the nest, him egg come, egg hatch, and the little pigeon start grow.
Yeah.
And then he just gone.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I have another friend. Kate afraid of pigeon. Like,
she afraid?
What?
Why was she afraid of pigeon? How so?
I don't know why, but if you put a pigeon there, Kate, she run.
How so?
So we have a sneaky suspicion that Kate hire somebody to get rid of the pigeon.
Caitlin, Muy mal, Caitlin.
Get rid of the bitches. But this week we'll big up Kate.
Big up yourself,
Big
Caitlin.
up yourself, Kate. This is
A real warrior, you know, she's been chatting with us, I and I.
Yeah, man.
For a very long time,
This is
from
your
day
big up
one.
week, Kate.
Caitlin.
Previously it was Adam. This week is yours. We're keeping
Yes,
it
man.
close. Who are big up this week?
Me big up Caitlin too.
Big
As
up.
I say, she a real soldier. You know, every time we go out, she hold it
Yeah,
from
man.
night till daylight. If she says, if you tell her stay, she stay. And equally when we go out and she tell we stay, we stay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You know? Sometimes when we go out, she like my strength. I say, if Caitlin a survive,
Everybody
have to survive and me have to stay with the role.
For real, man. Life for the party as well.
Yes.
Once you start to enjoy
Yeah,
ourselves.
man. Oh, God, man.
Yeah, man. Big her up. Big up
yourself,
Kiki.
Caitlin.
And next week we'll be sending out another big up. If you want some big up, comment and tell us to big you up as well. Like sometimes you can't ask feet, you know. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Ask and you shall receive. Which Bible verse that? Matthew something.
Dog, me don't know which one, but you mentioned something about the Bible. I have something for read here, dog. I swear. I have something for read to you.
Hey.
Yeah, you know the Gen Z them, right? Please tell me something up on the phone.
Them.
So basically, there's this trend going around. There's this book where the Bible has been translated so many times, right? Yeah. So now, and we even a Pato, someone translate the Bible in a Pato. Now someone translate the Bible in the Gen Z language. I read that.
Interesting.
I read that story from it. Hey, tell me you say, yo. Annunciation. All right. So Mary was a pick-me girl for God and was simping for him in prayer. When the angel Gabriel appeared to her and said, Ayo, you're a real one and the top G is feeling you. But she thought his compliment was sus and gave him the side eye. So he said, baby girl, chill. God sent me to tell you you've passed the vibe check. And low key, you want you to have the main character. You'd name him Jesus. And they will say, he's him.
He's him. He's the one.
He's him. The one prophesied in the divine dad lore, who solos all and whose crushing it never ends. He will take the W from all his ups, and his kingdom will go hard forever. She said, how can this be? Since I promised him my body count will always be 0.
Jesus Christ.
Respectfully. He said this ain't about cuffing season, for the Holy Spirit will live rent-free in you. And your boy Jesus will be a divine bro.
Divine bro.
Besides, your cousin Elizabeth is with child. She who is already older than a boomer, and whose husband is way past beekeeping age. So Mary said, bet. And Gabriel left her on red. And she let the Holy Spirit cook.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. Please note, this was not meant to be blasphemous or anything like that. It's just a translation into... I think someone did it so younger generation can
understand. You know what exactly happened.
Instead of the...
You know, I think they describe it very well.
You know the story.
Of course, yeah, man. Because that story in a Rasta, you know that story is a very... If that happened to any modern day man, it couldn't be.
You mad? Plus, nowadays we have DNA test.
Listen, I'm sorry for Christian them where I listen to this right now, but guess what now? It couldn't work.
You don't believe it?
It couldn't work. Imagine, sometimes I really wonder how Joseph did actually feel about all of this. What was Joseph going through during all of this? An angel in the night come to your wife and say, you will have a baby for your next man, a higher man.
The top G.
And you have to give your wife willingly. Because as the savior of the earth is coming through your wife.
Yeah, purpose. But you know what's funny? I don't find it too hard to believe that there are men that would do that. It's like when people join like a cult or something like. You have the cult leader that would sleep with all of the women, and then you have all the other men that just wait in the wind.
For the scraps.
For the scraps to fall off of the table.
Jesus Christ.
So, I don't want to make a certain comparison, but I'm like, for me, it's not hard to believe there are men like that.
I believe there's a man out there, you know?
Because it's like, imagine if you're with someone and you didn't know she was pregnant until like a few months in.
Yeah.
If you like this person, if you love this person, just because it's not your kid doesn't mean
That's true.
you can't step up and be the dad.
Yeah. That is true.
And in those
But you know,
times,
man. No, but in a them times, man, we just really want to know what was Joseph going through.
I don't know, brother, but
What was Joseph really feeling? How him feel? How would you feel about all of that?
I'll be out the door, bro. I'll be out the door.
No, but you have to remember the Savior will be born through the yoke of your wife, Rasta. The Savior to save the world.
All right,
This is
Tonnie.
bigger than the relationship where you have with Mary,
Tonnie,
This is about saving humankind,
this
Rasta.
is the easy one for me to answer. God would never pick me for that. God knows who I am. He would never pick me for that.
Listen, you know what them say? Them say, don't look at the messenger, Rasta. Look at the message. So the message will come through you. Anybody, the vilest offender out there, can tell you something and you learn from that thing,
Yeah.
Messages, Rasta.
Yeah, but God knows what I'm capable of. You think God just picked Mary and Joseph, so?
I feel...
There was a study done and realized that firstly, he's like, I need a virgin, first criteria. And that virgin needs to have a man that will help take care of the kid, so he'll be there.
One thing I want to know, what was a virgin in them time there? So I'm pretty sure it's a virgin. They have a different definition in at that time.
What do you mean?
I think the word virgin changed over time. I've read that virgin, for example, in some contexts, don't exactly mean that you still have your hymen. It means that you stay with one husband and you have the baby and you definitely know who is the father.
That was the concept of a virgin.
I've read this before.
Yeah, but
I don't be surprised that things have changed these days. For example, I've seen a lot of things like that change.
I can't comment on that because my definition of virgin, someone
science change every day in other vein. We involve in
No, but you can't put it down to the hymen because the hymen can break without any sexual activity.
Look at that, and that's what we call a virgin these days.
No, I think it's not. The hymen breaking is just one part of it.
Yeah,
but essentially, I think of a virgin as someone who has never had sex before. So, like, the hymen can be broken, but in some cases it does happen. But once you've never had sex before, for me, that's a virgin. I think that's the definition.
Not having sex before, okay. Yeah. Like contact with somebody else.
Yeah, no sex, no penetration.
You think you think you could have survived as a virgin right now, Davian? You think you could have reverse and be a virgin again and actually live?
Be a 31-year-old virgin?
Yeah, knowing what sex feel like.
Knowing what it feels like.
Knowing what it feel like, brother. Knowing what it feel like for do everything, brother. You could have lived?
Like,
Davian.
You know what? Before I would say...
Before what? Exactly.
I would say before I was an adult, basically. Yeah. Like as a teenager, I felt like it was the world, right?
Yeah.
Now I realize that it's not the world, bro. Like for me, if I was to stop having sex for a year, 2 years, I think once you get past the first few months, it'll get easier and easier. Once it's not.
Yeah, the temptation, the longing to have this thing.
Yeah. And you just have to keep yourself busy. Because a lot of people go celebrate. And
True,
you have people
and just busy, yeah.
You have people who don't even have any interest. But personally,
going
back, can't promise you that.
Let me tell you this. There's no going back for me,
There's no going back?
No, sir.
What if I find the lad?
Which lad? Which lad, Bridget? Which lad we go find? Hey.
No, man, but going back to being a virgin.
I couldn't do it. Like, me not think.
But then again, like, imagine, like, there are some people out there, that are virgins, and because of people like us, they feel like they can't be virgins. People are like saying, oh, we can't go back to being virgin once you've experienced it. But if you've never experienced something, you don't know what you're missing.
And that is the whole dilemma. I know what I have now. I know what it can feel like. The powers it gives you, the relaxation, the health
The
benefits.
powers it gives you, the powers.
Yes, of course. Yo, let me tell you this. Yo, David, me,
Yo,
what you know?
big up to whoever giving Tonnie the powers. Big up,
One girl.
big up to Tonnie
One
getting
girl.
the superpowers.
One girl be say. What you
Big
know?
up to Tonnie the superpower.
Hold on. Me and you know, and the viewers listening right now can tell you that Pum Pum have powers. Pum Pum make you do things you would never imagine yourself a do for Pum Pum. Just to obtain this thing.
All right.
Rasta.
So that are the next thing now.
It have a pulling force, this thing, you know, man. You're trying to feel.
All right. Pray this.
Brother.
Imagine what you would achieve if Pum Pum never exists. You think you'd achieve more out of life? Like, imagine without
I don't think Pum Pum affect what I achieve in life and what I don't achieve in life.
Pray this. Them say a man think about sex multiple times throughout the day, right?
Just like a woman, yeah.
You know, multiple times. Imagine if that brain power wasn't used to be processing that.
And it converted into something else.
Something productive.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Well, more you put up your mic, more the fans them hear.
Imagine.
You say, no, Rasta.
Imagine, like, all that brain power you use, I think about Pum Pum. Because you're not only thinking, you think of get it. You think of keep it. You think of work it. You think of do enough things to it, right? So,
yo, let me tell you this, man.
Imagine, as a man, if you had to spend half of that time to something else, to learn something else, to learn a second language.
We would become a new humankind. But you see, as mankind, Pum Pum rule of life.
Whoa, speak for yourself, brother. Speak for yourself.
The day you come out, you fight for go back in. The day you come out, you fight for go back in, brother. Because guess what, Davian? That place is called heaven, you know. You know why that place is called heaven?
Apparently, you get superpowers there.
Yes, man. Believe me, no. That place is superpowers. That place is heaven, man. That is where you were formed. Where else on the earth farm human beings, my brother?
True. Preach, my brother.
Where else?
Preach.
This thing bring life, you know.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying?
Preach.
This thing give life and it bring life. That's why I give you superpowers, man.
Okay. Preach, brother Tonnie. Preach.
Yes, hallelujah, man. Hallelujah.
Can't you say Pum Pum? Can't you sing it?
Which one?
Your Pum Pum bring life.
No, that's Kevin. No, Kevin. What's name again?
A bling dog?
No, man. Bounty son, man. What's name again?
Your Pum Colado.
Oh, bring life. You're good. Bring life. Yeah, man. You bring life, brother. Yeah, man, we have to spend some time and talk about these people, man. The powers of the Pum Pum, brother. The powers, man. It's powerful.
So,
yeah, man.
You feel like, your mental capacity, like the way you process things, the way you go about, like, you think constantly getting some and not getting some affect your whole turnout. Because enough money lead astray, dog. Enough money lead astray.
Listen. It does, You know why me can tell you it does, Davian? Because as I say, if you're not in it, you always try to spend your time to get back in it.
True.
I'm going to tell you what I exactly mean. Because you want to get inside it, you try to think, what girls like? You start to dress a certain way for say, all right, I'm going to try to increase my possibilities.
Forget it.
Of getting it by doing this or doing
Make
that.
Make more money. Be good at that sport. And the motivation.
Listen, from we young, as I said, Davian, if you think more life, Davian, when you're younger, and I feel like the culture in our way help this. Culture, when like in our country, like you have to learn how to dance. You have to play some kind of sports. You have to intelligent.
Words.
You have to frivolous when they come on to lyrics. You have to have a flow. You have to do all of these kind of
Confidence.
things.
You have to have a pattern.
All of these kind of things you have in at the front of your mind.
You know,
I try to please girls so you can waver.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I say?
that's what I'm gonna say, yo. For me, that's a negative. Like if that is your biggest motivation.
Me I get in there. Is a negative in our form when you put all your emphasis on it, all of your being, your existence. You exist for try to get back in. Them think they another way to go. As you say, if we dare focus the mind on other things in our life, would that be greater human beings?
That'd be much greater.
Yeah, man.
Much greater. And you mentioned the cultural point, dog. And tell you the truth, growing up, one thing even if your mother would be the one to and so you get enough girl when you grow up,
What then one more you want here? And if you don't get enough girl when you grow up,
it's a waste, man. You're not living up to expectation.
The music I tell you, your friend them I tell you, your mommy and daddy I ask you, but how me not see you with no girlfriend? How me not see you run on with no girl?
Brother,
it's a pressure. It's a social pressure,
Yeah, man.
Pressuring, man.
You ain't no breed nothing yet.
Yeah, man. Then them go up and then say, they on the girl in truck.
Yeah, dog. And them little thing them I say, yo.
Yeah.
If you eliminate that from your mindset, and just use that little brain power. Not all just don't make it be the thing that push you forward. Don't say yo.
Don't make it be your wings.
Yeah. Don't make it say yo, want be the best in this. So I can get enough money. So I can get enough girl.
Mm-hmm.
Them always say yo, go for the money. The girl will come.
That them say, but me not like that saying the door. You know why?
Why?
Because it put woman down to a material thing that you can get.
Yeah. But
a woman is not a material thing that you can just get just because you have all these accolades.
It's not a material thing, but I will never say that. But just like how the culture push we to achieve these things, to have multiple women in our culture.
Yeah.
The women in our culture are pushed to find a man with lots of assets.
So it kind of come
like
hand in hand.
Same with my family. I'm speaking personally for myself. I like doing that. My family, my parents are gonna tell my sister. They're not gonna tell her, oh, you love him, but he's broke. Like, give him a chance. What are they gonna say? Find a man that can take care of you.
Then say, find a man we can take care of you.
We can secure.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's getting this, if she's getting this from one side and I'm getting this from the other side, it's all a big combination that leads to a fucking toxic culture of relationships.
It's a funny thing, What security mean in our country, for example, versus what security mean here. Mm-hmm. Like security here means so you get somebody will love you. Somebody will go appreciate you.
Do anything for you.
We do anything for you. We're not going to make you feel ashamed of the love we give to them. Your love is like a trophy. You know what I say? I deserve this, I'm going to win this. Mm-hmm. Security, that's a security. But security in our country or our culture are something different.
Come down to the money, dog. Come down to what you can give.
Well, yeah.
Come down to what you can give. But I want to give some advice. Someone messaged this week again.
What they must say.
They love the advice, dog.
Yeah, man.
This one, I hate doing these relationship ones, but for the time being, this is what we're getting.
Yeah.
This is what we're getting.
And tell them where is this from, so they can actually
post on Reddit groups, or you can just email us to yardmanmail@gmail.com.
And this is a good time, my friend, to stop and tell you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. And give our video a comment. Yeah. We're on Spotify, we're on Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout.
Everything you can think
of. On YouTube, SoundCloud. We're everywhere.
We're there.
The Yardman Podcast, the number one Jamaican podcast in Spain.
The number one Jamaican podcast in Spain. And pretty soon, the number one podcast in Spain, number one in Europe, and then
the world.
We're taking over, brother. We're taking over. So, and good time to comment. Like, I'm not a freaking psychiatrist, psychologist.
My friend, me either, yeah.
So, maybe I can give the person advice in the comments. So, this person wrote, my girlfriend wants me to dump my friend. I've known my friend for over 10 years and we talk off and on. Recently, I lost a lot of family members, including a sibling. Wow, that's sad. In 2023, I was going through a lot, and my girlfriend told me she couldn't be there for me. It was too much. Yeah. So I didn't leave her. Instead, I leaned on a friend. We both were going through things, so we supported each other and talked a lot. Yeah. Meanwhile, after my girlfriend told me I was too much while grieving, I pulled back a lot. I didn't want to talk to her as much. I just felt like I've been there for her, and the time I needed her, I was an inconvenience. So yes, I hung out with my friend, talked over a lot, never nothing sexual. From the start, my girlfriend didn't like her. A little background, I've been with my girlfriend for over 5 years, but I've known my friend longer. My girlfriend says texting my friend, have a good day or have a good doctor's appointment is an inappropriate, no emojis, just that. It's inappropriate. Mm-hmm. I recently changed my password on my phone because she was going through my messages to see if I was cheating. All right. I'm still grieving. I feel overwhelmed. What do I also talk to my girlfriend? What do I do? Also, I talk to my girlfriend nice and very affectionate. She even went through the call log to count the minutes we spend on the phone.
Wow.
So to summarize, this guy, he has a female friend and he's going through some stuff and his girlfriend said that she couldn't be there for him. So this female friend was being there for him in a non-sexual way. Yeah. And helping him out. And he doesn't know why his girlfriend is feeling insecure and he doesn't know what to do in his relationship. So, Tonnie, what do you think he should do?
This is always a dilemma when your relationship requires you to cut off a friend for the relationship. You know, a friend that has proven themselves, for example, a friend who has helped you even before you had your girlfriend. It's always a dilemma. Having your partner feel uncomfortable with you talking to your friend, or to feel the pain and have somebody who doesn't understand your problem. It's like talking to a wall.
Yeah.
And in the end, you might just end up like solving your own problem. But sometimes we need somebody to talk to, you know. Not all problems we can solve by ourselves. Sometimes just talking to somebody helps. And sometimes it's not that, all right, it actually is. Sometimes like different ears will hear you differently when it comes to your problems.
Yeah. But in this case, he's saying that he wanted to talk to his girlfriend. He wanted her to be the one to be there for him. Yeah. But she said that she couldn't, so he leaned on his friend. And when the thing is now, whenever someone leans on a person in their time of need, and that person is there for them, they develop an even stronger bond. Like once that trauma, you two work through that trauma, you're bonded even more without even realizing. You start developing stronger feelings to the person, not necessarily sexual feelings or intimate feelings, but you feel like this person is more valuable. Especially if you have a girlfriend and your girlfriend, you lose your family members, you lost a sibling and your girlfriend can't process that. Brother, I would say leave this girlfriend. She doesn't want what's good for you. Like she
sounds like she wants what's good for her.
Yeah, like
and the relationship. Yeah. Not for you.
Yeah, she's searching your phone, checking your call logs, checking what you're sending your friend. But when you needed her most, when you lost a sibling, you lost family members, she was never there for you. Yeah, I think that says everything you need to know. Like, I don't even know why you're sending this message. I think you just want to write it down and just see it in writing and then
maybe move on.
Move on. But my advice, I would never tell my friends this if it was my friend, but since you're a total stranger on the internet, leave this girl and move on with your life.
Stay strong, brothers. Stay strong.
5 years with you. If she's with you 5 years and you lost a sibling, that means she knows your siblings as well. And she can't be there for you. And she doesn't want anyone to be there. Move on.
You know, I would like to know what this girl is thinking.
Nah, move on. She's thinking she wants to control him and have the niceness, but she doesn't want to put in the work, because in any relationship, this is what makes you develop that even stronger bond. Like if she was the one for him, she'd probably get a ring.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah. Can I picture this? Can you imagine?
Sorry, yeah.
I was saying, can you imagine if you go to your girlfriend and you say, "Oh, I've lost a friend, I've lost a family member, God forbid," and she's like, "I'm sorry, I can't help you with this," and then you go talk to another friend and she vex. Stupid though.
Yeah, it is. As me say, that's showing. That's almost That's showing me that you don't want what's good for me. Actually,
Yeah.
if it can make you uncomfortable, but it's good for me, and you don't like it, that's something bad. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not good and you're not good, like we won't have a good relationship. I have to be myself
Call it
and
a day.
the top of myself, like the top form of myself, to actually be able to contribute to this relationship.
Yeah. Just call it a day. Call it a day.
Call it
Like,
a day.
blow the whistle.
Blow a whistle.
Blow the whistle. Call it off. That's it.
That's it.
End of the game.
Match done.
Match done. You tried.
And speaking of which, me have a question for you earlier.
Yeah.
No, me have some advice for you, Davian.
What's the advice? You have advice?
Advice for you.
So what's
for
my problem?
you specifically.
Okay, sir.
Your problem, Davian, when I say with you as a friend, you need to listen more music. Like, me cannot stress how much you need to listen music. And you know why too? Like, me see it every time. Me like play a song where, for example, you're familiar with or whatever. Me see the reaction it give you.
Yeah.
And me see, me don't know that. Me just see a change in you. For example, brother.
Wait, what kind of change you mean?
Like your spirit, brother. Is either it take you back to a place where you never go far.
The nostalgia.
Or it heighten your like your mood, for example. I can see where it affects you, the music.
Yeah, like when you play your tune them.
I feel like you need to listen to some tune, brother. Get comfortable with some songs. Music is power,
All right. Firstly, I'm not gonna say tell it in lies. Because sometimes you play the reason why your music different because you play songs will take me back to a certain point in time.
Yes.
Real. And for that split moment, it bring back the memory. But the thing is, for me, listen music, I get bored. Like, you would play 2 songs and I'm like this. But to like sit here and just listen to music all day, I get bored.
No, I'm not telling you to listen to tune all day, man. But like, even for example, sometimes when you feel like listen to some music.
That's why I have Tonnie's tunes. That's why I have Tonnie's tunes. That's why I have Tonnie's tunes. That's why I have
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No, listen to your tunes. That's why I have Tonnie's tunes. Like, you know what? Let's see what they put in on the playlist.
Yes. So this is the time where we tell the audio listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all our platforms, Buzzsprout. Head over to YouTube right now so you guys can see the album covers and see like some of the stories behind some of these songs,
Or I think you can, And remember, like the Tonnie's tunes. I don't see anybody commenting on Tonnie's tunes. If I don't see one comment after this video, me and have problems. Yeah,
so this week, I'm going to introduce some songs, from outside and from inside of our country here. So the first one is a funny story, actually. You can relate to this story. No, I don't know. Wait. Tell me if you can relate to this story.
That's a better thing, dog.
And let's get into Tonnie's jazz. All right. So the first one.
Yeah, man.
Is a song called Ram Goat Liver by Pluto Sherrington. This song was singing about, because in Jamaica we love to eat goat. We love to eat curried goat. We love the soup.
Manish water.
Manish water. They say it put here on your chest, this manish water, right?
Manish water.
So, this song was from the 80s, 70s, if I'm not wrong. Is storytelling, classical Jamaican music, storytelling of things that what happened. So he's singing about being inside a bus and the bus hit a goat. And instead of going outside and everybody crying for the goat, everybody's happy, yeah. We get some food. So they went to a nearby shop. They found somebody with a huge pot, and all of them in the bus there just eat the goat.
A regular that used to happen in my road, if a car like a cow or a goat,
man, God, festival, man.
Everybody happy. Big pot around. Big boat around.
Yeah, man, another one. And from the same artist, Pluto Shervington. A song called That, which is singing about a Rasta man who, the eye don't have no money Rasta. And him have to change him grocery bill. If he want to buy him sacrificial herb. So instead of buy fish or yam, him have to buy something smaller. Like him buy little choto.
Wow. One thing me
Buy
realize.
little cocoa.
One thing me realizing that dog. A herbs man will always have herb money.
Always. This herb of maintain, man.
The herb money
is important.
When in budget down to the herb.
Of course, you have a budget, man. But this Rasta man, him try for budget and it never work. So him really, I think, some things in a life will make you think about go against your faith. Should he go against his faith? So him go to the market and he's telling the butcher. He's saying everything. He said, he asked him if you want goat. Him said, no. You want chicken? No. You want pork? Him said, shh.
Oh, God, man.
Give me some of that thing.
Yeah, no.
Him can't call it pork. Him call it that. Give me some of that.
You know that you at one time, pork expensive though. Pork expensive. Yeah? Pork more expensive than chicken.
From ever since, man.
Yeah.
Ever since.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's someone against him faith.
I'll buy some for you.
It's a funny story, man.
I'll buy some pork for you.
Next one is a song from Ivory Coast by Gadji Selly. This song is called Maroc 88. This was the official song for the Ivory Coast football team for the Africa Cup of Nations 1988, which happened in Morocco.
Yeah?
Yeah. They finish up the ranks. I don't remember how much, We'll be right here. Yeah. And that song is a really nice song. It has some nice happy guitars, African bass, African guitar, happy music, dancing. Next one is Forever Loving Jah from Bob Marley. Singing about not being sapped by society, laughing at Rasta.
Yeah.
Laughing about how your God is dead now, whatever. We'll be forever loving Jah. Always have a faith. We're not giving up a faith.
Faith is stronger when you lose the prophets or the leaders.
Oh,
they have a martyr.
I go already. And the last song, another one from Pluto Shervington, he's big on the list today. Is Your Honor. Yeah, this week, yeah. I've been going back.
Yeah.
And the name of this song is Your Honor. Another funny storytelling song about a man caught cheating with another man's wife. And him nearly kill him. But him tie him up and carry him go courtroom. I'm saying, Your Honor, I'm not guilty. Because I didn't touch his wife. I was in the closet. My left hand was occupied with my pants. And my right hand was occupied with my shirt and my tie. I was not touching his wife, Your Honor.
Hands are free. My hands are clean.
My hands are not guilty.
It's back to where you say,
storytelling.
The pum pum.
Powers. It have powers, David.
Powers,
man.
Yo, you know what we forgot to talk about this week?
What?
Cartel.
Yeah, my sister. I win. Hold on.
Yesterday.
Blood clot. Hold on. They make decision?
Yeah.
Well, I know. Me don't know about it, Me don't know it yet, What happened?
Free world boss.
Them free him?
They don't technically they're free yet, but you can go out and bail you though.
What you say?
Them say them might decide do they not for you retry him. So them quash the case based on the facts. The jury get corrupt when the jury try to bribe people. So them use the angle there. And they must say, the Privy Council send it back to the appeal court. The appeal court have to decide whether or not they're going to retry him. We're recording this weeks in advance, so we don't know
what will happen with
Carter's case.
But we just want to say right now, Free World Boss.
You
heard it here. Free World Boss. Free World Boss.
What do you feel about that, dog? Like,
let me tell you this. I feel like any man supposed to get the right due process of the law. 100%. And he was not given the right due process. During that time, evidence was tampered with. Evidence was coming out. Voice notes, pictures, videos, everything was coming from this man's phone. I was shocked to see some of the things in Cartel phone. Yeah. Honestly, that is unheard of.
Yeah, and
it's not the due process. It's actually unfair. I believe he should get a real trial, a fair trial. Mm-hmm. And if this time
he's found guilty,
Babylon said jail theme.
Well, the thing is not Babylon, It's the 11 people on the jury. Influenced by Babylon. Influenced by the Babylon. Because at that point in time, you know, the ruling, they wanted Cartel behind bars.
Yeah, based on what Cartel was doing to the status quo in those times, you know, he
Yeah.
was actually shifting the status quo there in Jamaica,
Yeah.
and the system would not have that, so they had to
Yeah.
find a way to quash him.
He had too much influence.
He had a lot of influence on both young people and old people in the country. He had, yeah.
Cartel, like, but once a man get his fair and due process,
Yeah, man.
and hopefully we can respect the law. Finally, the British do something good for Jamaica.
Yeah, for not even say for the culture, but them
for the culture, a little bit for the culture, because
you know,
Cartel's impact on dancehall and reggae music is,
you
I
can't
think,
tell
to
how
be
much.
honest, like since Bob, I would say it's him.
The
Like,
most influential person in Jamaican music.
Yes.
I would say
Even
you're
though,
right.
Even though it's not, he's nothing compared to Bob in terms of the message he's sending,
Yeah.
but in terms of the overall impact of his music,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has had a broader reach than him.
I think the only man where you can put with Cartel when it comes to that is Sizzla Kalonji.
No, but Sizzla has a more different kind of message as well.
No, but the thing is the influence Sizzla have.
Oh.
Sizzla has been doing this thing from over 30 years
Well,
now.
guess
You
what?
know?
I don't know if you know this. You always say, "Oh, David, you used to listen more music," but I know what's going on more in the music industry. Guess what?
No.
Sizzla get back in visa.
Yeah, I know about that.
You know about that?
Of course.
Sizzla touring America right now.
Rasta. They cannot stop Rasta.
Yeah, get back the
Yeah.
visa. Get back the visa.
Sizzla Kalonji, man. Big up yourself, man. The original, man.
Yeah, man. But some good news this week. Feel like I want to call it this for this week. I know I'm playing a game this week.
Yeah, I don't feel play like game this week.
If you want the game, you gotta request the game, and you know.
Buckler. One man they request something. One of you, like somebody.
Florida man, yeah.
We listen to you guys. You know, we love you
Yeah.
guys, and we cater for you guys. So this week we're bringing back Florida man.
Yeah.
Which date are we going to this day? We say we are going May 2nd.
May 2nd, Florida man, May 2nd.
Florida man. May
Florida
2nd.
man.
If your birthday is on May 2nd, big up yourself.
Yeah.
You don't know. You know? What was Florida man doing on May 2nd?
Florida man on May 2nd, Florida man wearing blue bonnet and flowery dress allegedly steals 28 cans of baby formula from Publix, from the supermarket. Buckler. See ya?
Jesus, watch him not.
You know what? Whenever somebody steals
Yeah.
baby formula, it's always something else.
You know, sir, something rough.
Something rough. That was in 2019. Is there another one?
There might be. What else was Florida man up to?
Machete wielding naked Florida man attacked mailboxes.
The fuck?
That's another one. For Florida man. But yeah,
I have one for Florida man also.
for me a second.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, in 2013, a Florida man, Jeff Bush, was sleeping in his bedroom when a large sinkhole opened up directly underneath his bed. It swallowed him and his entire bedroom. His brother heard him scream, but he was unable to reach him or see him in time. And his body was never recovered.
She got an hell, dog. I never said
Literally,
the devil
hell
take
opening
him.
up
No,
just to take you in.
brother. What are the odds? Like you in bed and the word open up and pull you down
And just close.
and just
Blood clot.
that's scary of fuck.
You must be unlucky, yeah. Shit.
Unlucky.
What could
the
you
odds,
have done?
The odds. Who am I in hell?
It was your hobby, man.
It was somebody something.
It was
It was
something,
somebody something. But guess
Jesus.
what? You guys will also like, share, and subscribe.
Definitely.
And thank
Like,
you
share,
for
and subscribe.
thank you for tuning in. And on the Spotify and the Apple Podcast, leave a rating.
Yeah, we love to see when you guys do it.
Leave a rating, leave a comment. But any comment you leave, make sure you can stand by it.
You don't know.
Make sure you can stand by it. Anything you say, you're supposed to can stand by it and defend it. So 5 out of 5 or else. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Tonnie.
And that's another episode, guys. Until next time, we out. Yardman Podcast are the one. The Yardman Podcast. Tell you about the Yardman Podcast. The Yardman Podcast. Tell you about the Yardman Podcast. The Yardman Podcast. Tell you about the Yardman Podcast. The Yardman Podcast. Tell you about the Yardman Podcast.
Subscribe now. We out.